doke.
We're moving through the night like we're from a different star, flying over streets and our broken hearts. But they can't even touch us, we found a different beat. Paradise is waiting and we bought the lead. Oh, getting caught in the maze, there's so many that never get out of. They're feeling the fears and the doubts. Ooh, but we go and we run to the end and we run without shame. We own the game, and we ride on the flames till the morning light. Baby, 'cause we're dynamite. Ain't nobody gonna hold us down. Break all the rules, let them run and hide. Baby, 'cause we're dynamite. Gonna let the world know. We're from a different time, yeah, we're of a different breed. 'Cause what we got is timeless, we supersede. And we hold in the key, yeah, we're tight as can be. We're rolling, just like we please. Oh, getting caught in the mist, there's so many that never get out of. We're feeling the fears and the doubts. Ooh, but we go and we run to the end and we run without shame. We own the game, and we ride on the flames till the morning light. Baby, 'cause we're dynamite. Ain't nobody gonna hold us down. Break all the rules, let them run and hide. Baby, 'cause we're dynamite. Gonna let the world know. Gonna let the world know.
All right, everybody. My name is Nate Manahan. I'm live here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and it's time for another episode of Office Hours. And today, we're just simply saying, analyze this. It's time to analyze what's going on in those merchants' lives. But what's going on in that merchant statement? What should we do when we need statement analysis? Well, the best way to know how to handle statement analysis is to have the experts tell us, and that is our coaches here at PayPro I just realized I never assigned Jenny. Let me bring her in. See, look at that. Now I've got three people up on the screen. That was my fault. I got to actually push the buttons. And so I'm going to introduce in the center first the elder statement of statement analysis here at PayPro from Warsaw, Indiana, Mr. Mike Stetzel. Mike, how are you? How is life in the middle of October?
It's awesome. It's good. Football season's here. A really boring game last night, but
He's wearing his cold stuff.
it was fun to wear it proudly today for Danny, especially. I mean, and proudly is a stretch. It was a 5 field goal game total, I think, for all the offense put together. So anyway, it's a win for the Colts, and that was hard to come by this year. So we'll be fighting for first place before you know it.
My favorite text back and forth between Danny and I last night was simply he texted me that he was glad he didn't do the 3-hour drive back and forth each way to Denver, and I texted back, I'm questioning my walk to the couch for this game. It was miserable. That was just not something I'm proud to do, but thankful that the Indianapolis Colts have a second win for the season, and living in Colorado, and 3 hours from Denver. And Jenny, what do you think about those Denver Broncos last night? That was quite the experience, right?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sad about it. I really do try to be faithful to my team, regardless if they're winning or losing, but it was pretty bad. I actually stopped watching the game. I was like, I just can't take this anymore. So.
But Jenny, ultimately, you are a better athlete than anyone on that football field that was playing last night, and probably better. We all could have played better in football at some point. I don't know. That game was just really miserable.
I hope that something changes very quickly because that was very painful.
So moving on, we're going to talk about statement analysis today, and specifically how our partners, because what happens is, we're, one of the most popular things that we've always taught people to do is ask for a statement. Now I'm going to start that with a caveat here. In the edge world, when going into a merchant and that maybe they've already agreed that edge is where they want to go. They want to go to a dual price system. They want to be able to pass on those fees back to their customers that they're paying on it. And that's a great opportunity for us as sales partners. Mike, do you still need to ask for a statement in that situation?
No, you really don't, because if you can even find out how much they're paying and what their sales are, we can put together a beautiful statement analysis for them. If they don't have that, that's fine too, because you know how much they're going to save? Everything they're paying right now. So it's a pretty simple math equation. And really the only benefit of doing that analysis when you're proposing edge to them is just for the shock value of saying, look at that. I go from paying $2,500 a month to zero. That's a big deal to me. So we do not have to have the statement to do an edge analysis.
Now, the thing about statements is there's not one size fits all. They all look different. Each one of us as processors make them look different. It's not just the logos, but it's designs. It's how we put the numbers. There's no one way to look at statements. And that's part of the reason we provide statement analysis. But Jenny, if a partner says, man, I just really like doing this themselves, would you encourage them to learn how to do statement analysis and go out and try to get trained in that? Or just go ahead and use our sales team, which we'll talk about in doing that statement analysis?
I would say to utilize our sales team. Like, I've been in this industry a really long time, and I heavily rely on them just because it's what they do all day long, right? And they really can get down to the details of these are the extra fees that they're being charged. They actually can really find those network fees, association fees, PCI fees. Sometimes those get overlooked when you're looking at a statement, but this team, it really helps break down exactly what that business is paying. So then you can come back and show them how you can be competitive and what your pricing structure looks like. So they're a great team to utilize.
So coming right back to you, Jenny. Walk us through what that process looks like, and then we'll come and actually look at actual statement analysis. What's the best way, the easiest way to get that statement analysis started within our PayProTech world?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're talking to a prospective client and they're like, I already have a credit card processor. I'm okay. And you're like, well, if I can just see what you're currently paying, I will actually show you how I can save you money and eliminate up to 100% of your credit card processing fees. So once you obtain a statement, right, you don't need to have 3 months. If you can just get 1 month for us to review, you can send in a statement analysis. We actually have a link on mypapertech.com where you can just go ahead and simply enter in your agent information and upload the document. Yep. You got it, Nate. Thank you for bringing that up for me. So just click submit a statement, your agent ID, your name, your contact information. And then we also offer additional type of analysis if somebody doesn't want to utilize Edge. So if you're trying to show them how Edge can save them money, you can provide Edge or a flat rate. Or if somebody says, I'm not comfortable with charging that fee, but I'd like to see what you can offer, we can provide that for you as well. So you can see the different boxes: Edge, flat rate, tiered, or interchange. So upload the statement. Submit the form over, and then our team will send you back an analysis within, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's 24 to 48 hours is our SLA time on that back.
Okay. Yep, that is exactly correct. Sometimes it can be really fast depending on how many comes in. Sometimes it does take all 48 hours or 2 business days. My typical thing that I see is it's usually happening within 24 hours, but obviously just depends. You guys, we don't take reservations, so we'll see how many people show up.
And that's what I want to say. Usually, sometimes I see them back really, really quickly, like within that same day. But like Nate said, sometimes we're a little busy and it does take a couple days.
But as we do that, one of the things I would say when it comes to statement analysis is one of the things that's helpful is to help them think through how they find their statements. Just like with us, most of our competitors have gone to only online, so they have to go find their version of Payments Hub download a statement. So many of these smaller merchants a lot of times haven't been monitoring. It's off their radar. They haven't seen a statement in 6 months, a year, 2 years. So thinking through, hey, what's the online portal? How do you log into that? You'll kind of learn that process and be able to walk them through. But once you have that statement and you turn it in, Mike, are there any tips? A lot of times they're going to send it to you already in a PDF. But let's say they print it out and hand it to you. What are your tips to making sure you can get it to a form, whether you have it through the form that I showed here on the screen, or you can email salesteam@payprotect.com and just put it right directly through there. But the first thing is to make sure you get a good, clean copy if you're handed a paper copy of this, right?
That is true. If you do get a paper copy, like you said, make sure that it's a good copy and it didn't come out of the printer crooked or whatever. And then the best thing you can do is use some sort of an app to make those, to scan those, quote unquote, and create a PDF with it. My mind just went blank. Um, Cam Scanner is one that I know that a lot of people use, and there's several others that people use. But use that so that it can be in a neat format for the team to look at. Also, you don't want that attachment to be so big by taking 5 or 6 or 7 different pictures and then trying to send those all together as separate attachments. So if you can use some sort of an app to get that to a PDF and it's a clean copy from the merchant, no problem. Send it right in, and this is the way we used to get them all. They'd be faxed to us. So we're just lucky that there's better technology now to be able to scan them into a phone even.
All right, so now I'm going to jump in and take us over to the screen where we can find some model sample analyses. And we're just going to grab one. I'm going to go over to the Edge section here, scroll all the way down on My PayProtect, and I'm going to see there's several examples, but I'm going to grab this transmission shop because that's what I've been told to do. And Jenny, can you kind of walk us through what we're looking at here in the comparative cost analysis or that we have for a transmission shop?
So right away, when we look at an account, we want to see what their monthly volume and their average transaction is. So you'll see that at the top, you'll see that this person is processing $16,000 a month with their average transaction at $863, right? And then we have a breakdown of what they are currently paying versus what we can offer. So we provide their current processor and then the PayProtect. Over on the left-hand side, you're going to see a detailed, itemized list of all the additional fees that they pay on a traditional pricing structure. So I can tell that they're on a traditional pricing structure. I see the percentage after the decimal point on their current processor. So I can right away see that they're not utilizing Edge. They're just paying the cost of the card plus an additional 0.02% or 2 basis points. They have an additional transaction fee if you scroll down at 7 cents. And then along that, they have their additional traditional AMX fee, card association fees, PCI fees, like batch fees, all the traditional fees. We provide the effective rate down at the bottom. So overall, this merchant is paying an effective rate. Nate, can you zoom in? I think it's like 2 point something percent.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's pretty low. Like at the end of the day, this is a really exactly. It'd be hard to compete with this with traditional pricing and still remain profitable. So then we say, well, what can we offer? Let's see what our Edge program can offer. So we have our PayProtect pricing. Our traditional is additional 4%. So we put them on a flat rate of 3.84%, and you can see everything else is zeroed out. That's a beautiful Edge pricing program that we offer. And then there's a 4% offset, right? So they're charging a 4% for every credit card transaction. By doing this, we practically eliminate all of their credit card processing fees. And at the bottom, we have the summary. So monthly, they save $486 just by changing how they accept their credit cards, and annually they're going to save $5,800. Like, that's a lot of money. We also like to show what the projected residuals are. So over on the right, you can actually see what your estimated profitability would be. So this is a good gauge to see, hey, am I pricing this correctly as well? So this is just for you. You can definitely remove this if you'd like to show it to a merchant. But this is really a great tool and resource to show what they're currently processing and what they would save by switching over to using our Edge program.
Yeah, and this particular one, obviously they were very competitively priced. Someone wasn't making was probably barely making any money on this account. And some months, if they were getting a lot of Amexes, my guess is a lot of times we see those 2 basis points, you're going to have a lot of issues on making profit. But what happens in that is Edge becomes that great opportunity there. But let's just talk about when we start seeing Interchange Plus pricing, which we still present, and a lot of people are going in with 2 options. Here's Interchange Plus, here's Edge, showing it both of them. What are the key things, like when you're presenting and talking through, Mike, that helps them understand, the merchant, the difference between interchange plus pricing? We won't even mess with tiered. Thank you, Northwest Payment Brokers, for keeping that alive. You guys use that the most. But for the for the most people, they're going to be making a decision between interchange plus and edge processing. How do you walk people through making sure they understand what interchange plus is and then explaining what edge is?
Okay, good question. So on the left side of that analysis, you can see, as Jenny explained, it's an interchange plus method of pricing. So that means the customer is responsible to pay, the merchant is responsible to pay the interchange fees as you see listed there. They're responsible to pay the discount rate, the transaction fees, and then the same thing for American Express, and then the miscellaneous fees Jenny lists below. What we're saying we will do for you with Edge is we're going to charge you one price for that, no matter what type of cards you take, no matter whether you take them over the phone or you take them face to face. There is no risk to you as the merchant. We're going to cover that cost. In turn, your customers are actually going to cover that cost. So at the end of the day, on this right half, in fact, since this analysis was done, we have stopped defaulting the $6 monthly basic service fee in here, and we've gone to using 4 digits for 3.8461%. If we did that and dropped the $6, this would say that the cost would be zero. So basically the difference is interchange plus, you're paying the actual cost to accept the card, and the plus is the additional amount you're paying to give some profit to the processing company and that partner.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, and these, what we are going to see, and then my last question, and then I'll find out what I'm missing in our statement analysis program, is yesterday, Danny and I just recorded, so I encourage you to go watch it, a 5 with Danny, where we specifically talked about high risk not being as high risk as it used to be. But the interesting thing when you start looking at some of these high risk is we're starting to see statement analysis coming in, and we're seeing 600 basis points, because we're starting to do things like CBD shops that were set up on high risk, and now we're able to bring them into our world, and we're going to start seeing these. What are some of the things that are odd things you would look for, maybe, because when you grab a statement analysis and you're standing in front of the merchant, what are some of the quick things you may look at to learn how to read versus getting this is a good report, but being able to quickly grab an effective rate or things like that? Are the things that you would teach yourself to read, Jenny, back to that question before, just so you can quickly say, oh, I can tell you're paying $3,000 a month?
Oh yeah, effective rates are huge. So that's a great way to just give an overall summary of what are the bottom line of the percentage that they're paying. So you just have to take the total amount of their credit card volume, divide that by the fees, and you can get the 2.1 as an incredibly low rate that we showed on the statement analysis. So that's a great way. What are their monthly volume? What is their total cost? Take a look at those numbers. Also, if you're just going through a list of just seeing, go to their monthly fees to see what else is there as well. There might be some additional just tacked on, like service charges, monthly fees, PCI fees are big because with us, we encompass that in the flat rate. So you eliminate all those additional fees. So you can literally point to the statement and say, hey, if you sign up with me, I can go ahead and eliminate these and put you on a flat rate. So those are just kind of some low hanging fruit that you can grab to show how you can save them money just by switching over to you. It's great.
Well, and my last tip to everyone would be, use the statement analysis to go into your proposal. So whether you build out your own proposal, maybe and you can look at some of our other office hours where we walk you through actually building the edge proposals from our My Paper Tech site, or if you create your own. And one of the ways you can do that is go over to Canva and just type in proposal. You're going to find 1,300 templates that you can use for free to start building your own templates. And I have found most people can learn how to use Canva. It's a very simple editing and publishing software that you can kind of create your own brand. And so many of you, in fact, most of you, we encourage you, are selling under your own name, and you're eventually white labeling with us. So create a proposal that you can take this number and translate it into, here's the piece of hardware or software that I'm recommending, here's the rate that you're currently being charged, and here is what I'm going to save you, and help make that professionality professionalism. So professionality. I don't know. I created a word there. Make that professionalism actually take that next step and set yourself apart from maybe what some of these other places are doing and just like handing off, standard things. Create custom proposals. I really encourage it. I think some of our best partners are doing that, and they're walking in or emailing these proposals. There's a great software out there also called Proposify. If you want to pay for something, they'll actually walk you through how to create these proposals and make that template and do all these things. It's a lot of cool things out there. If you want to talk about that, I'm always around. But closing thoughts on using our statement analysis team, our sales team that's doing all this thing. Any closing tips, tricks, or things you should be watching for when it comes to statement analysis, Mike and Jenny?
Yeah, I think that there are things out there that are quicker and maybe a little simpler. But what you're going to find is that when you send in that statement or you submit that statement to that tool for analyzing, it's going to generalize that customer's interchange. They're going to say, this is a restaurant. This is the average interchange for restaurants. And here's how much we're going to save you. When we do an analysis, we literally tell you, compared to this specific statement for these 10, 20, 30 credit card types, how much we're going to charge you for each of those, step by step, not a guess, not a generalization. So be okay with 24 to 48 hours to get a real look at something that's accurate and something that's going to give you a really, really good idea of what your profit can be and what your merchant savings can be. So again, as we say, call us, call your relationship managers, call me or Jenny, and we'll walk you through the process. And then when you get that analysis back, one of us will review them with you each time until you're comfortable with it. That's what we're here for.
Jenny, any closing words of advice on statement analysis or just life in general?
I'll stick to statement analysis because I got lots to say always. Just really use this as a tool for like a win-win type of setup for you and your merchants, and just to be as transparent as possible, right? In this day and age, a business owner is really, I'm looking for the word, they're just cautious, right? They want to really get the best deal and protect their business and be on their side. So these statement analysis and these proposals, they really show what they're paying, how they can save money, and it really gives you an opportunity to make sure that you're still remaining profitable, right? So really just use this as an approach to be a win-win, save the merchant money, still remain profitable. End of the day, everybody's good.
I love it. Well, on that, guys, we will close out for this, the first episode. Yeah, because we recorded before October 1st last week.
We did.
So this is our first episode in October, which because it's Halloween and the day before Halloween is my birthday, I say it's the greatest month of the whole year. But, you can have your own opinion on that. Thank you for coming and joining us. Mike, Jenny, closing words as we are, just a few days into the beginning of October.
Happy fall.
Happy fall. I love it. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. I'm excited. I'm thankful. We're going to have a great rest of October. We'll see you next week here on Office Hours. I'll be on it. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Jenny. We'll see you next time right here on Office Hours.
See y'all.
See you guys.